Chapter 42. By the time we were done with our second day of training, I thought for sure I pulled my butt muscle or cracked my tailbone. I was drenched in sweat again, but feeling a little more comfortable with the idea of breaking holds and grappling, as well as maneuvering around a fight with blood rage. Shannon was learning quickly as well, not getting hit by Michael in the first few seconds of the fight. Once, she almost scored a hit of her own. Almost. Michael was untouchable, even with only one eye. I couldn't imagine what he was like with both in action. When we ended the day, instead of heading back up to the store, Michael held us back for a moment. "I'm beginning to see what Grundy has found in the two of you," Michael told us with an approving nod. "She always has had a knack for discovering talent. Has she repeated the code to you?"
"The code?" Shannon looked at me for confirmation. "I don't think so."
"Nope, definitely not," I answered. "The code of the court goes like this. It's repeated by watchers and serious hunters alike. After I say a line, you say, 'Send me,'" Michael instructed. "When the world of men stands defenseless against the dark."
"Send me,"
Shannon and I said in unison. "When the ancient ones come to reclaim their throne," Michael continued a little louder now.
"Send me,"
Shannon and I answered louder, matching his volume. "When all hope is lost and no one can see the way,
"Send me."
And when the light trembles to regain its feet, who will go?
"Send me!"
The room reverberated with our shouts. I could feel goosebumps on my arms and a rush of heat rise to my face as my heartbeat picked up tempo. "Well done, hunters," Michael answered. "Well, I just feel like I should be honest," I said, breaking the magic of the moment. "I haven't signed the contract yet." "You will," Michael answered, unfazed by my admission. "You will." "Why does everybody keep telling me that?" I muttered under my breath. Michael walked us to the front door. It was 7 in the morning and the sky was just beginning to change from complete darkness to a grayish gold.
"You have a lot of sunflowers in here," Shannon said as we walked outside the store.
"They were her favorites," Michael shared with a sad smile before waving goodbye and closing the door behind us.
"Man, I feel so sorry for that guy," Shannon said as we drove back to the apartment complex. "I mean, to love someone and then have her taken away like that? It must feel like hell. I can't imagine someone you love just gone. I loved my sister, but I get that it's a different type of love one has for their spouse."
"I can," I answered. Realizing what happened to Michael and his wife wasn't what happened to Tracy and me, but I felt like I could relate in a small way.
"I mean, someone you wanted to spend the rest of your life with just never coming back? That must feel like taking your heart and putting it in a blender."
"It does," I said.
"Sheesh," Shannon said. "Why am I always attracted to the ones with issues?"
I didn't really have an answer for her, and neither did I want to engage in the conversation further. When we got back to the apartments, Shannon and I agreed to take the morning to rest and recover. Then she'd run me through a physical exercise, including cardio training, which I was less than enthused about. After that, she promised to show me some of the more modern weapons and how to shoot them at a local range. I ran into Evan as he headed out the door for his workday. "Hey, man," Evan said, placing his designer sunglasses over his eyes. "I'm glad I caught you before I left. I wanted to tell you I'm sorry about last night. I kind of freaked out when I heard the Count was involved." "No reason to apologize, man," I told him with a shake of my head. "I appreciate you being worried. It's just, I've never really had someone good to talk to about all of this," Evan said, adjusting the keys in his hand, as if suddenly they were very interesting to him. "You're like a brother, Johnny. The closest thing to family that I've got. I just don't want to see anything bad happen to you." "Hey, nothing's going to happen to me," I told him with a reassuring smile. Evan was usually the happy-go-lucky one, cheering me up. "I'm good. I'm going to train hard and learn as much as I can, and Heck, this whole Hunter thing might not even be for me. Who are we kidding? You're going to sign that contract, Evan said without hesitation. I might not. Please. The John Hunter I know is going to sign that contract, Evan stated as fact. You're just waiting to feel good about it and responsible. I might not, I said as Evan clapped me on the shoulder with a smile and started walking down the hall. You are, Evan called back. Who knows? Maybe not, I shouted as Evan disappeared down the stairwell. Oh, you will, Evan shouted back. I went into my quiet apartment for another shower, breakfast, and sleep. If Shannon was going to put me through a workout, I needed all the recovery time I could get. My body was used to the gym, not weapons training and hand-to-hand instruction. I passed out hard on the couch to a rerun of Golden Girls. It was the one where Betty White's been dating a small-statured doctor and is embarrassed to bring him home to the girls, one of my favorites. I woke to the sound of my phone going off. Reaching blindly for it on the coffee table, I didn't even bother to see who it was, still half asleep. No, I already know who I'm voting for, I said, still in slumberland. Stop calling me. Johnny, it's me, Tracy said. Hearing her voice woke me up faster than a bucket of ice water hitting my face. I sat bolt upright, blinking rapidly as I tried to make sense of what was going on. Tracy? I asked, still coming out of my mental fog. What's going on? Why are you doing this? Johnny, I wish I could explain to you without everyone interfering, Tracy said. We should talk. Well, no. Last time we tried to talk, you were about to kidnap me, and then Mrs. Grundy started cracking vampire skulls like she was about to make an omelet. Or did you forget? I know. I'm sorry, Tracy said, sounding like she was so flustered she might cry. This whole transition has been so confusing for me. Then you killed Bloodstone, who was going to be my mentor, and made it so much worse. That was just like Tracy to turn the tables and make things clearly her fault sound like my fault. Was this what Evan and my mother had seen? How could I have missed it? I don't know what they're doing to your mind, but this isn't you, Tracy, I said, trying to come up with a solution. I can talk to Evan or Mrs. Grundy. Maybe they know of a way to help. We can bring you in and... So you won't just come out and talk with me? Tracy asked again, this time shifting her voice from desperate to angry. I'm pretty sure you're not thinking clearly right now, I told her. If I go meet you somewhere, I feel like another black SUV is going to pull up and take me. There was silence so long on the other end, I thought maybe she had hung up. I was afraid you were going to say that, Tracy sighed, like she used to when they were all out of her shoe size at the most expensive outlet in town. For what it's worth, I'm sorry, Johnny. I didn't want it to come to this. What are you talking about? I asked, confused. Come to what? Johnny, Evan's voice came through the line, exhausted and full of pain. Johnny, don't come. Whatever they say, however they're baiting you, don't come. They're going to kill you. Evan? I asked, jumping up from my sofa and beginning to pace. Evan, what have they done to you? Are you okay? Panic swelled in my chest. I felt sick. We picked up your friend today. Victor's voice sounded on the other end of the phone. I recognized it from my dream. Since your little watcher boarded your apartment, and we can no longer come to you, I thought this would be the next best thing. The blood in my veins ran dry. Panic turned to anger, and then doubt. How was I going to get Evan back unharmed if Victor had him? Don't hurt him, was all I managed to say at the moment. It's not him I want, Victor answered. No soap, no watchers. I want you and the other hunter who took out Bloodstone's coven. You tell anyone else, he dies. Sunset at V Model Management, top floor. You tell anyone else besides your fellow hunter, he dies. You don't come, he dies. You try and trick me, he dies. Don't come! Evan shouted from somewhere behind Victor. Jonny, don't! He was cut off by a heavy thud and a groan. The line went dead.